Hello ladies and mental gen, and welcome to another Is It Worth the Gold / grind in this case video. Today we're looking at the T25 Pilot Number 1. And I do know I am late on this one, and I do apologize, but I was moving places and I didn't really have a lot of spare time to do an extensive kind of work that is required to do a review on one of these things. But anyways, better late than never. We already like 4 missions down by the time this video will go live, or even 5. And so far they've been extremely easy. So because of that, is this thing worth the grind? Somewhat, kinda, sorta, if you have spare time. Is this thing worth the gold? Fuck no. Never in a million years. Let's find out why. So first of all, we start off with a pretty lackluster armor profile. So you have 76 upper plate, 76 front of the turret, which is obviously all cheese for a tier 8 medium. The gun mantlet is slightly better with 203 spaced armor, but nothing behind it, so generally everything is still gonna pen right next to the gun. You do have quite a bit of zones where the armor gets a bit thicker, so you can get lucky bounces here, but generally the zones where you actually bounce stuff and the massive amount of zones where you don't really add up too well for you. Also, when you are using a full gun depression, generally with tanks like these, you expect to hide your cupolas. Not in this one. This one you can still, your enemies will still be able to see and shoot both of your cupolas even when you're using your full gun depression, which is rather sad. The sides and the back, not really much to talk about. I mean, it's not a tank you side scrape really with, and another great feature of this is that the ammo rack is in the tracks, like in general with American tanks, so that happens quite a lot as well. Anyways, let's talk about the rest of the mediocre stats while we are in the replay and driving up a hill. Alright, let's go through the stats real quick. Comparing it to M46 Korean pattern, we start off with 1458 points, 390 meter view range, top speed forwards 55, backwards 20, power to weight 14.20, tank traverse 44.8, turret traverse 47, close-ish. Effective traverse you can see here. This thing has really good soft stats on terrain resistance, so that makes it that this number doesn't really mean anything, which is actually like, you know, confusing as shit as per usual. But, you know, the mobility wise, this tank is kind of up with the Pershing, with the Korean pattern, with like every other tier 8 American medium. When we come to the gun, you get the same 90 mil of every other American medium in the game, pretty much at tier 8. So 1925 DPM, damage 240 per shot, 192 pen, aim time 1.92, accuracy 0.36. The soft stats are kind of the same as on the Korean pattern, apart from after firing, which is fucking irrelevant. Another terrible thing about this tank is this abysmally terrible shell velocity on the AP, which is why these tanks are just generally like full APCR go home for a lot of people. And that is also one of the reasons I didn't bother to ace this tank. Yes, this is true. This is not going to be an ace game, spoiler alert, but I can't just be bothered to fish for that insanely lucky game to beat the APCR spammers. Anyways, gun depression 10, gun elevation 20. So this is not really the typical matchmaking you would hope to have a good game in a tank like this, especially when you don't really want to spam all that APCR and want to actually make some credits. But it is tier 10 Westfield, and we started off by looking at a motion and realizing that we don't want to do that ever again, well, anymore in our life. So we moved here and did shoot that FCM. We're pretty much playing like Artie isn't in the game, because I mean, like, if Artie goes and focuses a tier 8 medium in this game, I don't really give too many fucks as far as I'm concerned. This game is gonna be pretty terrible for me either way, so, you know, might as well just play aggressive and make something happen instead of just sit behind a hill and don't really get spotted. Also, I just need to be in close range in order to be able to do any damage in this kind of game. But we start up reasonably well. We shoot the gorilla for free, and this other gorilla is right in the middle of the open, so we should be able to pick him up sooner or later as well. And because Artie shoots him, it's actually sooner than I would have expected there. Now, this E75 is busy with a friend of mine, so we can shoot him for free, which we'll do. Could have picked up the second gorilla maybe instead, but since this 430 committed so hard, might as well help him out a bit. The Panther gets shot in the face by the Audi as well, so a great fun so far for us. We have picked up 3 kills and 1000 damage, and this game is pretty much over already, because generally, like, if you win this side, you can't really lose the game out of that. Kind of dodgy peek here, because I saw the E4 behind me was trying to get a shot off, but he was taking so much time that I figured might as well drive in front of him and see what happens. So far, playing in the comfort zone of this tank. Started off by playing hull down, now we're playing just flat out support, shooting people that aren't looking at us, shooting people in the back, using that mediocre mobility to get around the place and get some side shots, some flanking done, and it works reasonably well so far. We picked up our 4th kill there, and to be fair, the only reason this game was any good for me is because I picked up a lot of kills. But then again, I mean, it is a tier 10 game. I'm not really supposed to be doing the heavy lifting in this matchmaking anyways. Do get to spot one of the Ardis, and he dies very quickly, which is always nice to see. Can't really spot anything else. The Gorilla ran away. He could be anywhere now as well. We do spot the Löwe, who for some reason is playing there, but you know, whatever can we do. Really shitty angle on the Löwe, and with this amount of pen, we're really never gonna pen that, but I guess you miss every shot you don't take anyways. So why am I hating on this tank so much? Because it looks kind of alright in this game. Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, the AP ammo on this tank is absolutely atrocious. The lack of pen, the lack of any kind of velocity means that this is an extremely annoying tank to play without spamming full gold. Trying to get the YOLO peak there. Doesn't really work out very well for me, but yeah, the AP ammo on this tank is just so bad that it's just frustrating to play for the most part, and generally the lack of armor and the mediocre mobility also makes it just generally not very good at anything really. I mean, if you consider the complete lack of armor, there's no real reason to pick this over an STA2 also. Fair and balanced, boys, fair and balanced. We do pick up the Gorilla, and let's see if we can nail the blind shot, and we can. Sick. We picked up a 7th there, and there's still 2 more guys left, so maybe we can go for that Redley Walters for that great finish, or maybe we cannot, because this gun is terrible. We'll see in just, well, we'll see in any second, I guess. The low angle is terrible, and we missed the RD shot, so that is GG. But wait, there is more. I know, it's weird. Clip from a different game, this time pretty much top tier on Himmelsdorf. No encounter, but I started the clip here. I'm not gonna even bother showing the entire game, but this is kind of how the best case scenario for you might look like. Medium range hull down is really where this tank shines. At a shooting equal tier tanks that can actually struggle to pen your turret, just being a pain in the ass to hit as well is important in a tank like this. This is literally the perfect scenario for this tank, and even then the lackluster alpha damage and the kind of potato gun means that you're not gonna really be doing that much. It's super annoying to play against though, tanks like these. I mean, the type can't really compete with this at all anymore, but that's, you know, power creep since the good old days when type was actually good. But as you can see, we can bounce some shots. Most of those are AP, but still, I mean, it can be quite annoying to play against a tank like this. I could have shot the D10 there as well, but you know, since this D28 is driving in the open, we probably should start with him, and finally we get some damage. But generally, like, this is your perfect engagement. So, similarly to tanks like STB, I don't know why I even aimed at that, and that was a potato shot, so cry every time. I mean, it is 1 AM and I had to play a lot to fucking get this shit going, and I need to actually finish this replay cast, so, you know, I'm playing a bit like a potato, not gonna deny it. It's been a long day, but yeah, I mean, now the second we're not hull down anymore, we start getting pen. We did actually bounce 1 APCR from the T10, well, premium APCR, I guess, as, you know, like the T10 or 110 would have any other APCR, but on the good news, this tank is still probably better than the Super Pershing, because you generally get the same package with slightly better gun, and without the, you know, added armor that really doesn't do all that much, and you also are not slow as shit because of that. But, you know, That's just the trade-off you get with this. So it could be worse. The tank still has some abilities to be effective. That's just sad for me to get shot there. But yeah, as you can see, the tank can be reasonably powerful in perfect scenarios for it. But at the same time, I could have get pinned by every shot I took there. And in general, if you are too close to your enemies, they are gonna start nailing these hull down shots, and they're gonna make your turret look like cheesecake. So it's not very reliable turret, that is for sure. It can save you, and it can do absolutely nothing. So you're just gonna have to take your chances every once in a while. Alright, let's have a look at the end plate. So we get a first class badge, 2,512 damage done, 330 assisted, picked up 7 kills. I don't even know what the fuck that medal is, and Top Gun, 2k experience with the premium account. That was a base of 1390, so most of the time this would be an ace, but just because the tank just came out and there's some APCR tryhards I need to beat, it's quite tricky to ace this, but yeah. Is this thing worth the grind? If the missions stay as simple as they are now, sure. It's not a lot of hustle. It's like half an hour of all the tanks every day. Is not too bad, but I have a feeling that the missions are going to get harder and harder, and you're going to get fucked for even trying them. Then you're going to feel that you're wasting time because you did the first 5 or first 10, and then the last 3 are extremely hard, and then you just pay Wargaming some money, and then you get a shitty premium that you didn't want in the first place. So yeah, I probably wouldn't bother with this if you already have a premium, but I mean, if you're a free-to-play user, I can't really say anything that's gonna change your mind anyways, and I really shouldn't, because getting a free tier 8 premium as a free-to-play user is extremely good value. So yeah, I mean, I never buy this for full gold price, like, fuck off. There's so many better tanks to buy for that amount of money, but as for the grind, if you really want to, go for it, man. Go for it. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you on the next one.